Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Happy Friday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here for our 2 p.m. First Alert weather live stream. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Friday. Not been the nicest day out there. We've had some cloud cover, some light rain to our northern counties, and some cooler temperatures. That's something we've been feeling at least over the last couple of days, and we'll continue that trend into our weekend. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. If you have any questions, as always, you can head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News, and there I'll try to answer any of the questions you may have about your weather, about really for the rest of the day into our weekend. So we're going to start off here looking outside. This is our US 10 camera. It actually looks like it froze for a second. We'll see if it wants to come back here. But you do have a look at our US 10 camera. There it is back. You can see the flags are starting to blow in that wind. If you've been outside today, it's definitely been a windy day. That breeze has really picked up since this morning. It's continued to stay breezy over the last couple of hours. You can also see lots of cloud cover. The sun may be trying to peek through in a few locations, but at this point is struggling. That cloud cover definitely winning the battle in the sky through this early Friday afternoon. But we're speaking about winds. I think that's been the hot topic for today because we've had winds at 15 to maybe 30 miles per hour. We can actually see here Freeland showing a wind gusts up to 31 miles per hour there at the airport. You have Bay City, Saginaw at 26 and 25 miles per hour. So definitely windy. This is just a sustained wind. So definitely hearing and feeling that breeze as you're getting out and about. Then we look at our wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. Saginaw has reported 40 and Port Hope has also reported 40 miles per hour. So definitely a windy Friday afternoon. There is a good sign, though. This isn't going to be the rest of the day. I know there's going to be a lot of people out and about through this afternoon because we do have Friday night lights. We have events going on. By the time we get into this afternoon, it does look like winds are going to calm. When we look at our wind gust trend for the rest of the day into tonight, we can see by about 6 p.m. our wind gusts drop back down to the sort of 25 mile per hour range and then stay relatively calm as we get through the night, just around 15 miles per hour at most as we're going to bed tonight. So still breezy. It's not on the calmer side, but it's not like what we had, especially right now. This is our peak wind gust for today. It really started right around 10 a.m. and will go till again about 4 to 5 p.m. with our peak wind gusts. So just obviously a factor if you have anything that's not secured in your backyard, that could blow away easily. Could blow your car around while you're on the road, so just be careful with that as you're getting out and about for your Friday routine. Now, Sky Tracker has continued to show some light rain chances. I don't think it's anything too bad, but it's enough you're definitely noticing it, especially in our northern counties through much of this Friday afternoon and Friday morning. Looks like we have some more rain entering Roscommon County here at the 2 o'clock hour. So continuing to see these light rain chances as we get through the day and just sort of taking that cloud cover away to have a better view. It's definitely looking like north of Clare up to Holton Lake are the areas that are seeing the most rain or the best rain chance right now. That is just moving east towards West Branch and Rose City. So don't be surprised you get some light rain here over the next couple of hours if you do live up there in those cities. And then north of Lake George out to Gladwin is another area that could see some light rain here over the next couple of hours. And maybe something we could see on and off as we get through about 5 to 6 p.m. before we should stay dry through tonight. There may be some more light rain chances into our weekend. It's going to be more lake effect rain as we head through Saturday and Sunday. Now looking at our temperatures across the board, you can definitely tell the areas that have had more rain chances and more cloud cover this morning, and that's going to be up to the north where you see those mid to upper 50s and then mid to lower 50s. Holton Lake at 50, sort of Roscommon, Ogama counties leading the way in our coolest temperatures. And then you can tell the areas that have had a little bit more sun, maybe a little bit more dry conditions, and those are going to be down to the south with Lapeer at 72, Flint at 68, Owasso at 66, Port Sanilac also at 68 here as we get through our early afternoon. Dew points, there really isn't much to show here. We've stayed dry. That's always a good thing. Usually when we get that colder air moving itself in, that's just going to be a drier air mass as well. So dew points right now, mid to upper 30s, mid 40s, maybe a few lower 50s as you get closer to the shorelines here on our Friday. Now, if you've been outside, you may have noticed a little bit of haze out there. There was some wildfire smoke that rolled in with this sort of stronger round of wind. That has quickly moved out. Looking at our near surface smoke, we can see that smoke by 2 p.m. is already off to the east, moving very quickly, and by 3 p.m. most, if not all of the region, shouldn't be really dealing with any of that smoke. So that's a good thing. We didn't really want to see much smoke from this. In terms of air qualities, we did have moderate air qualities. Those have actually started to improve. Again, as that smoke quickly moved out, we're seeing that those air qualities improve. But quickly looking at air quality map here, just another way of looking at it. Still showing moderate ratings though. In a sensor there, Bay City, Saginaw, moderate, just barely though. We'll probably shortly in the next hour or so go back into our good rating for our air quality. We can already see that on the west side of the state, reading good ratings, and then up to the north also showing good air quality there. So again, don't be surprised in the next hour or so our air qualities improve back into that good rating, and that will really be the case for the rest of the today into our weekend. Now, taking a quick preview of our weekend and our weekend planner, it does show we have isolated rain chances, especially in the morning. I don't think it's going to be anything widespread. It's going to be, again, those very isolated cells that develop off of Lake Michigan and even off the bay as we get through the morning on both Saturday and Sunday. By midday, we may start to dry off once again, but I'm still not going to count out a quick isolated shower. You're looking at temperatures in the lower 60s for both days, and we'll still be breezy, but not as strong as what we had today. It's going to be a west to southwest wind both days at 5 to 15 with gusts up to 25. You may get a gust up to 30 miles per hour as we head through your weekend. So I'm quickly going to take a break. Once I come back, actually, I wasn't even on that. Let's go back to this on our weekend planner. Sorry about that. So again, weekend planner, rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. Early in the morning, that will be lake effect rain. By the afternoon, we should be dry, those lower 60s. Now, I am going to take a quick break here. Once I come back from that break, we're going to be taking a look at football forecasts for Friday Night Lights and some of the college games that we have going on around the region. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here, and we're going to start off looking at our Friday Night Lights forecast. And we're going to start off on our game of the week. It's Swan Valley versus Frankenmuth. Frankenmuth, obviously, second week in a row being game of the week. They obviously lost a close one last week to Goodrich, so they are 0-1. Swan Valley at 1-0. So both teams going to be looking to continue either a streak there of winning at Swan Valley or get back on the winning ways there in Frankenmuth. Now, for kickoff time, which is 7 p.m., we actually look to have a decent kickoff. It's going to be a little windy, a southwest wind, 15 to 25, partly cloudy skies, but you should be dry. Definitely going to have some blankets out there in the field, sweatshirts, jackets. You're going to want to stay warm because that wind will make it feel pretty cool out there as you're sitting out on any of the bleachers across the state. Another game we want to highlight, it's Dow, Midland Dow versus Heritage. Also kickoff at 7 p.m. It's very similar forecast. Partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the lower 60s at kickoff, dropping into the 50s as we get through the game. Again, a southwest wind, 15 to 25, so going to be on the cooler side, going to be a little bit windy. Kickers may struggle. If you have a son or maybe a family member that's a kicker, they may struggle just a little bit as they have to deal with those stronger winds that we have across the region. Then we look at another game. It's Saginaw United traveling out to Mount Pleasant for a week 2 matchup. Obviously, Saginaw United lost last week. Mount Pleasant came home with a W. You'll be looking at mostly cloudy skies. There's another game, actually, Mount Pleasant, Clare playing at Kelly Short Stadium. So if you don't want to head out to watch Mount Pleasant, you can head out to watch Clare at Central Michigan University. A little bit cooler there to the west in Mount Pleasant. You'll have temperatures upper 50s, dropping into the lower 50s by the end of the game. Similar winds, though, southwest 15 to 25 miles per hour. And then our fourth game that we're going to highlight, Warren De La Salle versus Davison. Both teams 1-0, looking to continue their winning ways as we head into week 2. And again, those partly cloudy skies, temperatures lower 60s. You'll drop to the 50s by probably mid-game and then stay in the mid-50s as we get to the end of the game. Again, continuing to see winds out of the south, southwest, or even the west at 15 to 25 miles per hour. So definitely on the windier side as we get through our Friday night lights. Now, did want to highlight some of the college games that we have going on this weekend. One of those games, Northern Michigan travels to Midland to face Northwood. Kickoff time at noon there in Midland. You'll have temperatures in the 50s for any of your pregame festivities by kickoff, into the lower 60s and staying in the 60s through a majority of that game. A west wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour, so it looks to be another windy day. But we should stay dry, just those cloudy skies as we get through our Saturday sort of midday. And then a little bit later in the afternoon, Saginaw Valley State, they're playing Gannon University. Both teams 0-1, looking to get that win here as we're getting into the week 2 for many of these teams. And that kickoff is at 2 p.m. there. And that's going to be a west-southwest wind, once again at 10 to 20 miles per hour, with temperatures sitting in the lower 60s. So another cool game there at Saginaw Valley. And, well, Michigan State, they're also in town playing Boston College. That kickoff a little bit later in the day, 7:30 p.m. there at Spartan Stadium. It's going to be a windy one. Again, a west wind, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Lower 60s for any of the tailgating that's going on. Kickoff will be still in the lower 60s. And by the end of Michigan State versus Boston College, you'll have temperatures in the mid-50s and hopefully a Michigan State win for any of you fans out there. I did want to highlight some of the other games. Eastern and Western are both in town. Very similar conditions. Western kicks off at 3:30, Eastern Michigan at noon. Western Michigan plays Northern Texas there in Kalamazoo. Eastern is playing Long Island University down there in Ypsilanti. So 2 close games, and maybe you're going to go down there to watch those games. You'll be dealing with some winds, dealing with cooler temperatures. Our out-of-state games in the region, obviously University of Michigan, a big one this weekend as they play Oklahoma out there in Oklahoma. And then you have Central Michigan, who is versing Pittsburgh out in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a big game after a pretty good win for Central last week versus San Jose State. So pretty important games across the board for our college teams. Well, I can't, somebody changed the cameras on me, so I apologize. We also have the Lions in traveling away this weekend. That's going to be on Sunday. They're traveling to Green Bay for the Packers for week 1 of the NFL season. It'll be a little bit windy out there, a little bit on the cooler side, but very much like our fall forecast for this time of year. Football weather, especially out in Green Bay, where obviously they'll be getting snow in no time there in northern Wisconsin. But I'm quickly going to take another break. Once we come back, we're going to continue to look at our weekend weather and just show how it might play out if you have any plans as we get through Saturday and Sunday. Stay right here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here once again, and I'm going to start off by highlighting some of the events that are going on today, tomorrow, and through the rest of our weekend. Starting off on Bikes on the Bricks in downtown Flint. If you have that motorcycle or like motorcycles, that's going to be a good event to get out there and see some of those. Again, that starts really this morning, actually, and continues for both Saturday and Sunday. You'll have temperatures today, though, if you're planning to get out there, in the lower 60s, and by the end of our festivities tonight there in downtown Flint, into the lower 50s, so definitely on the cooler side. And continuing through the weekend is Frankenmuth for AutoFest. That, again, has temperatures in the lower 60s. Staying in the 50s by the end of the event, and obviously dealing with breezier conditions out of the northwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, I did want to look at lows tonight because I know, again, there's going to be some people out traveling. Maybe you're trying to get some last weekend camping plans going, and maybe that starts tonight. You are dealing with some cooler temperatures. We've continued to see trends of lower 40s into the mid 40s. May get a lower 50 in a few areas, but definitely below average for this time of year. You're definitely on the cooler side, and we will continue that trend as we get through the next couple of days, and even Sunday night with lows widespread lower 40s. I'm not going to count out some upper to mid 30s to the north, so keep an eye on that, because obviously once you start to get to those mid 30s, you may get some areas that drop just a little bit more, and that could give you a chance to see some frost. Obviously it's still early here. We'll obviously keep you up to date if we do get a frost advisory for our northern counties once again, but for now we're going to hold it stays just warm enough that you should avoid that. But it's going to be close as we get through Sunday night into Monday morning. By Monday, we start to see a recovery in our temperatures, actually some warmer air moving itself in, and that's going to move us right back into the mid to upper 40s, in the mid 50s as we head through Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. Then as we head into your weekend, Saturday, it's showing us temperatures in the upper 50s to the north, into the mid 60s down to the south. So another sort of fall-like day. We continue that trend into our weekend. I think the one thing about tomorrow, a little bit calmer winds. It's still going to be breezy, but that may help actually keep us feeling like we're in the mid 60s as we head through our Saturday afternoon. A reminder, this is below average for this time of year. Average is still in the upper 70s, 77, 78 degrees. So we have some areas, especially to the north, where you may be 20 degrees below average for this time of year. Now, I also wanted to highlight something that many of us probably don't want to hear about, and that is the last 8 p.m. sunset. That is going to be Saturday night. We're losing about 2 minutes and 53 seconds of daylight every day. And if you're someone that enjoys those 8 p.m. sunsets, well, you're not going to get another one until March 30th, 2026. Obviously, we're just rolling into that time of year where we start to lose more and more daylight, and we'll continue that trend as we get through the next couple of weeks. Now, I did want to highlight wind gusts, as again, it was windy today and continues to stay windy as we get through the rest of our afternoon. It does calm down tonight, though. By 6 p.m., just before kickoff for our Friday Night Lights games, you're definitely going to be looking at mid to sort of those upper 20 mile per hour winds, maybe some mile per hour winds at 30, but just a little bit calmer than what we had through the afternoon. Then as we head into the night, wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour at most. So definitely calmer as we get through the night. Saturday morning, winds will start to pick back up just a little bit, not by much, but definitely could still see wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour through midday Saturday. That will calm down Saturday night. Sunday morning stays relatively calm. Again, wind gusts up to 15 miles per hour. So still noticeable, but nowhere as strong as maybe what we had for today and tomorrow when comparing to Sunday. Now, looking at our highs for Sunday, we continue that trend of cooler temperatures. It's mid to lower 60s across much of our southern counties. Then as you move to the north, you start to see more of those lower 60s and upper 50s. So it's once again Roscommon County sort of falling behind when it comes to our highs. Holton Lake at 59, even Ogama County at 62, and West Branch are just going to be a little bit cooler as we get through both Saturday and Sunday, but you do have some relief on the way. Now, looking at our hour by hour does show most of our consistent rain chances should move out here over the next couple of hours. I think by probably 6 p.m., even if you live up to the north and you've been seeing some of these spotty showers, those should be out. I'm not going to count out seeing some sun. That's something we'll have into this afternoon. As we head into Saturday, you'll have some cloud cover in the morning. Again, there's been some signals we could see some rain early tomorrow morning, especially up to the north, Claird to Holton Lake. It looks to be a small chance. I think any other rain chances that we have for the afternoon Saturday are going to be lake effect, sort of develop off of Lake Michigan and travel east across the state. They also may develop off the bay. That's going to be a possibility, especially if you live in Huron County. Don't be surprised if you see that. Again, it is a pretty small chance. I don't think it's anything that's going to go ruin your day, but it's just enough that you may need to turn the windshield wipers on as you're traveling across the region on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. Then Sunday, it's more the same. We'll be dry for a majority of the day, but you just get these isolated cells that want to develop mostly off of Lake Michigan and then travel east. I do think we see more sunshine Sunday, though. I don't think it's going to be as cloudy of a day. You'll see the sun both days, but definitely going to see more cloud cover for Saturday. And then the end here, because I don't see any comments in our chat, 7-day forecast. That's got us staying in the 60s through about Monday. Then as we get into Tuesday, lower 70s, then the mid 70s on Wednesday. There's been some signals we could see another rain chance on Wednesday. We'll see how that sort of holds together, because there has been sort of a trend of that backing off on some of the latest weather model runs. So we'll see how that plays out. But for now, isolated rain chances for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll be dry for Monday and Tuesday. And then obviously get some more chances of rain possible for Wednesday, but that still has some time to play out through mid next week. I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your weekend. As always, you can check us out on our Facebook and YouTube channels at WNEM TV5 News. You can also scan that QR code that's down below me right now. That will download our WNEM TV5 weather app, storm alert weather app. That will actually keep you up to date. We'll send updates on that all the time. You also can check us out on Roku and Apple TV, and you can also check us out this weekend. We'll be live streaming our 6 p.m. newscast on our website at WNEM.com/livestreams. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining me here today. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your week into your weekend.
Thank you for joining us. Today's stream has been brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.